3, 2, 1, go!
We are Paul Leonard
and Bryce Graskowski,
and this is 20 Minutes of Fitness.
Yo, Bryce.
Hey.
A little bit of a different setting here today.
Well, this is, so today we did it last week at your place. Now we're doing it at my place. It's my backyard right here.
Are you homeless?
Yes, that's correct.
Interesting.
Yeah. I live at the park, Colina, Lagoon 4, I think.
So we decided today to do a swim workout at the lagoon at the beach, which really we should turn it around and show you that, but it's on a tripod, so we won't.
Well,
but
oh, look right there. It's in the still.
Oh, there you go.
Wherever it is.
But yeah, so we bought some new podcasting gear.
Yeah.
So we have mics. I didn't bring a shirt, so I have a towel to make it so I have that. Oh,
You like that shirt?
CrossFit, fuck off.
Available on the website, people.
That's funny.
If you're a Letterkenny fan, there's that show. JT a couple years ago was like, dude, you got to make a cross fuck off shirt. And so I did it after I left.
Okay.
Made sense.
So you did the Spartan race this weekend, and that's why we decided to do a swim workout today, because you couldn't handle a real workout today.
Nope, I cannot. 2 days ago. So what's today? Tuesday? Okay, yeah. So Sunday, finished it. Did the trifecta weekend, which is pretty brutal because you have to do a beast.
What's a beast?
The beast is 21K with like 30 obstacles, and then the super.
What's a K?
I don't know, some Canadian thing.
It's 13 miles.
K for Canadian.
It's slightly over 13 miles.
Yeah,
right?
you talked to somebody that
I talked to a guy that had a Garmin watch, and he said it was 14.7. That's what it actually was. Supposed to be 13.1, I think.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, and they always make it longer. They want to give you at least whatever, and then they, you know, whatever it ends up washing out to. That's on Saturday. Then on Sunday, you do the super, which is a 10K, which ended up being supposed to be 6.5 miles. It ended up being right around 7. Okay. And the last one is the sprint. You do it about an hour after you finish the super. That's a 5K.
Or in Tommy's case, immediately after.
Well, yeah. In Tommy's case, we start a little bit later.
Okay.
But yes, immediately after. That's 5K. And so that was that. I'd say that was at least about 4 miles, because there was a stretch of a half an hour where I was pretty much running the whole time.
Okay.
And there was no signs of mileage, and then I got to it and it said 3. And I'm like, I've been running for a half hour. I run pretty quick, and even on that kind of terrain, there was no way that was a mile. So I think it was more like 4 and change. So altogether, you end up running about a marathon throughout the 2 days.
Okay. Yeah. And how'd you get ready for it? We talked about this a little bit before, but
so for my main goal was to, due to past performance, right, not cramp.
Pitiful performance.
Huh? Pitiful. Yes, pitiful. Not cramp, right? Every year I do this, I cramp because I never put anything in my water. Last year I carried my pack weighed 12 pounds, which was a huge mistake. So planning, that was one thing. So I did like the potassium and sodium in the water, brought pickles, some mustard pickle juice mixture, stuff like that, just so I wouldn't cramp. That was number 1. Number 2 was the knees and the ankles always get really jacked up on these things because you're almost always running on uneven terrain and on the side of a hill, right? Or up a hill. But everything's ankles and knees. They end up, I really feel like my ACLs by the end of it, where I'm getting nervous of like pushing it, where I'm like, this feels like a snap. Don't want to do any permanent damage. So a lot of what I did was trying to run on hills and not on flat surface. So even if I was running on the street, I would go off to the grass and aim for uneven stuff. Okay. And I didn't do that as much as I wanted to. I wanted to run quite a bit more than we did, but due to
laziness.
What I actually did, which was running from when I would drop Rowan off for school, I would run up Makakilo. So it was about a mile run to my house. And I would do that every day. And after not running really at all, to running every day a mile, and then later in the afternoon running another half mile back. Yeah. My back tightened up, my hamstrings basically tightened up, and it got shitty where my back started hurting, and my body just wasn't used to that much volume of running, even though it's not that much each day.
Oh yeah,
running
a mile every day. That's brutal.
No, I know. Running uphill, and my body just didn't like it. So that was like, what, 2 weeks out from the damn Spartan race. And then also doing CrossFit, and I hurt my low back doing some dumbbell squat cleans.
But you don't do CrossFit anymore?
No, because fuck off. That's why. I ended up hurting my back and kind of being on the shelf for about a week and a half. And then we did that DT workout a couple weeks ago. That was 2 days after I hurt it. So it just never felt real good to go out for a long run, so I kind of missed that. But all in all, it ended up being okay, the amount that I did run, the volume. So, and my ankles and knees, perfect. No problems.
And then Tommy trained a bit more than you did. Was she happy with what she did for training?
Yeah.
Or did she regret not doing more, or did she do too much?
She was happy with what she did for training, but wasn't real happy with her time on the beast.
Okay.
Felt good about her super and her sprint. The beast is just so hard because it's just so long. You're out there that eventually it gets to you. And I know her like around mile 8 or something, which is only like halfway there. She started feeling she has some calf issues that they cramp up, but she did what I was supposed to do, which was, run 3 times a week, like a 30, build up to like 45 minutes to an hour once a week, and then somewhere around a half hour twice a week, where my original goal was do some speed work, sprints, hill sprints, do kind of a technique work where I'm just kind of not focusing on time, more focusing on technique, and then doing a longer endurance piece. So that was going to be my original thing, which she ended up kind of doing that, she never was out of breath, never had any issues like that. It was more just the cramping thing. And that's just not enough. We didn't do enough hill work, meaning trails.
Yeah, not enough trail running.
Yeah, and like I have super flexible ankles. Like that's one of my big things when I go hiking or anything like that. They're so flexible. I love going up hills. I love that type of stuff because it doesn't bother me that much. My knees, yes, it bothers me, but where she doesn't quite have the flexible ankles, so it kind of bothered her a little more than myself. So she probably could have used a little bit more of that. And I don't think she was purposely running on uneven terrain all the time.
Yeah,
where
I was running for the
I was looking for it, right? Because I knew the little bit of training I was gonna do for it, it had to be purposeful.
Yeah.
Where I wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna go run for a half hour and then to get my miles in. It was, man, I'm only gonna run a mile today. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna do stupid things like going up and down the curb and stuff like that. So, but yeah, all in all, I felt pretty good about my times. The beast, I went slow because I'm always worried about getting messed up in that.
Yeah.
And my back really hurt during that because I went too slow. Walking up and down hills just destroys you.
Oh yeah.
So I would do that a little differently.
So would you recommend someone else do the trifecta?
The trifecta is just hard. Like, yeah, if you're in decent shape, you could do it, but I wouldn't if you're just like the regular person that's like, oh yeah,
average Joe shouldn't do the full.
The average Joe shouldn't. I want to do a Spartan race. A trifecta is not what you want to do. Like most places don't even do trifectas.
Start with a sprint.
And most people that do trifectas they'll do a sprint over here. A couple months later, they'll go somewhere else, and it's fun because then you get to go to different places.
So doing them all back to back like this.
Yeah, you're going over the same terrain, which you get faster because you're familiar with it, but you are more and more tired doing it all 3 in a row. So doing a trifecta though, you qualify for the World Championships in Sparta, Greece. So that I didn't know that.
Even if you have a really slow time.
Even if you have a really slow time like me, so. That'd be really cool.
November, you're going to Greece?
So November, I'm going to Greece. No, I wish.
To work on a job.
Had I ever known about that? Nah, no, you can't have a job. I'm gonna hitchhike there. It'd take me 3 months to get there, 3 months to get back. So yeah, that would be pretty cool though. Go cool. Where Leonidas and the boys went.
Yeah,
I'd just be yelling, "This is Sparta" the whole time. You're really fucking annoying.
Try to look like 300 by the time you get there.
Oh yeah. That's the other thing too. You gotta
train for that.
You have to grow hair.
Yeah.
Black hair too, which will be a trick.
That's gonna be tricky.
Yeah, Grecian 5, baby, Grecian 5. Just comb it in.
So Yeah. Is there anything that you would recommend someone do differently for if they like? Let's say somebody's listening to this podcast right now because they want to train for a Spartan race, not necessarily trifecta.
Hiking, like
trail running, maybe?
Trail running, and not for an hour, for several hours, like some distance, and do
if you're
it.
Gonna do a 14-mile race, you should probably be doing like 6 to 8 mile runs.
You got to feel pretty good
trail
with that.
runs.
Yep. The other thing is, I wore a Camelback on the first day, the Beast, because I do have hydration issues. Second day, I didn't wear it because my back hurt so much from, it was already hurt, and then the Camelback on just made it that much more. And I don't know if that was in my head or not.
So they really don't give you much water on the course. I know,
that's the problem. So I would also kind of train to dial in your hydration. And that's something that this is the first time I actually did well with that. And that was just by luck, just by like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And it worked out. So like I'm going to write down all the stuff that I did do, all the stuff I ate while out there, because this is the first time I didn't cramp up, you know?
So I definitely do think, at least for the Beast, you should bring water with you.
Yeah.
I think it's too far to not.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there's people out there that don't, but I don't know how hard they train.
Are thirsty.
Yeah, they're thirsty. There was
like the Super. I don't think you need it for there because that's only a couple hours.
There's a couple miles, like 2 miles on the Super where there was no water, which was interesting. Which means during the Beast, there's probably a couple 2 mile stints where. But my feeling is if you can move that much faster, instead of it being an hour of no water, it's 30 minutes of no water. Yeah.
And then take it off that Camelback's going to save 50% of the time.
I don't know. Well, just the, like, having it on me for the,
did you leave like a fucking weight vest in there or what?
I don't know. I don't know what I do, but,
okay.
I don't know. I would
so you would toy with that a little bit.
I would definitely toy with it where you got it down so that you had, and I don't know what's out there because I can't eat anything because I'm allergic to everything. So I did literal straight potassium and salt with vitamin B, scored it in there in a baggie, and I pushed that down with some water. It was absolutely disgusting, but I'm sure there's some stuff out there
better than that,
where you could do like some sort of tablets and put it in the water they give you. I don't know that if you come in hydrated and because you can't drink too much plain water, right? And they're only giving you plain water out there. Granted, they had Fit Aid things you pour in there, but that's another thing is like I usually drink too much water. I think of straight water. I never put anything in it, and that's why I cramped up. So I would toy around with that, where you go hiking and maybe a 5-6 hour hike where you only bring a little bit of water. Where on the Spartan, maybe you don't bring the water. I don't know.
Another thing to think about with endurance events, like I've been doing a little bit of endurance events right now. You should be intaking somewhere between 70 and 90 grams of carbs per hour.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
So if you want to stay energy the whole way through, every hour you're going to spend, you should have about 80 to 90, 70 to 90, depending on how big you are. Like I should be like closer to 90. You're probably in the 80 range. Tommy should probably be more like 60 to 70.
I did that on the Super. Every half hour, I made sure I ate like I had like fruit fruit roll-ups or whatever. What's
surprising though is how much carbs that is.
Yeah.
Like for the Ironman, I have little gel packs that are they're almost like gelatin packets.
Yeah.
And each of those has, I think, 35 grams of carbs in it.
Yeah, I had a lot of stuff for the Beast. I had beef jerky because high in sodium, right? I had we actually have the thing where you can make your own baby food in the little pouches.
Okay.
And so that's where I put mustard and pickle juice in one. Another one I put macadamia nut butter and jelly and mush that. That way that's like a gel pack, right? It's pretty easy. But even if you just did jelly, because that's just straight sugar. Yeah. Or honey, something like that.
Yeah, easy ways to get those carbs in.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it doesn't weigh a lot. That's the key. Is like the second day, I just ran with a fanny pack with a bunch of stuff. Like I had more than enough stuff. Where I'm feeling like if I loaded that up for the Super or the Beast correctly, I can maybe get away without the water. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know either.
Well, I'm not going to throw it out there that you guys should all not run with water.
Yeah, no.
I think that might be a
little too
bad
extreme
decision. But if there is water every few miles on the course, then maybe you can get away with it.
I'm saying if you're in pretty good shape where you're going for time, and like if you're a person that can run at least a half marathon, no problem, in like around an hour and a half, you're probably okay with hauling ass on this thing and not doing too much, because the pack will slow you down a bit, but maybe not. Maybe it's just because my back hurt.
Yeah, your weighted pack probably screwed you.
The last year,
if you remember to take the weight vest out of it, you would have been
yeah,
set.
that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Steel plates, but yeah, we'll do that differently. Trail running, definitely do that. And
how about the obstacle portion? Being from CrossFit, those just don't seem that bad at all.
No, I mean,
how many times do you have to do burpees though?
Take your time on the obstacles. I only missed one obstacle, and it was the first monkey bars because I was trying to skip a bar. No, just take your time. The slower you go, the more your odds of making it are probably increase, because you don't make a mistake and like, oh, I didn't quite have that. The second you don't have it, you're done, because you're wet and nothing is like a normal pull-up bar. It's all like 2-inch thick.
Yeah.
So you don't have a full grip that you're used to. See, Mana was doing muscle ups. He climbed the rope. There's like, you have to do a 20-foot rope climb. Dude, he then grabbed the thing and he did a muscle up on it. That's ballsy.
Way at the top up there?
Dude, that's ballsy.
That's high.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He sent me the video, but it's iPhone to an Android, so he looks like complete dump. Otherwise, I'll put it up anyway.
You should upgrade your phone.
It's pretty. Yeah, I should upgrade yours. Fucking upgrade Apple. And then that's about it. But yeah, grip strength.
Learn how to throw a javelin.
Grip strength. Yeah, I hit it the last one. I hit the sprint. Sprint, I did perfect. I hit the.
So you finally hit one?
Yeah, I hit the
first time in your life.
Dude, I was an inch and a half on the inside of the target, so
Oof.
Almost missed the whole thing.
Almost missed it again.
Yeah, there's no real practice with that, unfortunately. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, grip strength on large diameter. Go to your local playground. They're generally have 2-inch, at least on the uprights and stuff. Maybe not on the bars going across.
Yeah, like maybe the outsides.
The outsides are usually, like that. Yeah. So I would do that. Yep. That's about it, man. That was pretty good.
All right. Well, in that case, peace.